You never do anything right. Thankfully, divorce will soon be over.
The Lawson mansion glittered like a fortress of pride, its chandeliers hanging like frozen fireworks above a mahogany table polished to perfection. Tonight's dinner was meant to celebrate legacy, wealth, and power. But Emma Lawson, a black woman surrounded by white faces, was the target of humiliation. Richard Lawson, her husband, a man sharp in suit and cruelty, raised his glass. To success, to honor, to legacy. Polite echoes filled the hall. Emma lifted her glass quietly, unassuming, calm, but her silence was defiance. Then came the moment that cut the room in two. Richard spat, droplets landing near her plate, the laughter that followed heavy and cruel. Margaret, his mother, nodded in mock sympathy. Daniel, his brother, smirked at her pain. Emma's friend Claire tried to comfort her, whispering, "Don't let him get to you." Yet beneath the softness a storm brewed, a quiet doubt she didn't dare voice aloud. Richard's presence, his confidence, his charm, lingered in her mind like a siren's call. She had always admired him from a distance, but now, seeing him flaunt power and command every eye, the admiration twisted. Her hand hovered over Emma's, then withdrew. Every whispered comfort, every nod of support, now felt tinged with hesitation. She wondered, silently, if maybe Emma's quiet strength was nothing compared to the force of Richard's world. Each time Richard insulted, mocked, and humiliated Emma, Claire's instinct to protect battled with a growing fascination. What if she aligned herself with the man who seemed untouchable? What if loyalty to Emma meant standing in the shadow of irrelevance? Emma's lips curved in a small, faint smile. She wouldn't let them see her break. Inside, a fire stirred. Every insult, every sneer, every betrayal, the stones they piled onto her were building something stronger. What would you do if you were humiliated in front of everyone like Emma? As the dinner ended, Emma retreated to her study, her mind tracing old betrayals. Richard with Vanessa, Margaret's disdain, the cruel words that haunted her. Yet in her private space, Emma touched the proof of her hidden power, a stack of contracts and documents, her secret majority ownership of Lawson Enterprises. The empire Richard thought he built was hers all along. Night draped over the mansion, yet Emma's resolve glowed. Claire's loyalty was fraying, tempted by Richard's charisma, but Emma's focus was unwavering. Richard continued flaunting Vanessa, announcing divorce and betrayal in whispered threats. Yet Emma remained still, observing, planning. She unlocked her desk drawer, touching the documents gently. Contracts, shares, ownership certificates. 90% of Lawson Enterprises belonged to her, hidden from Richard, hidden from the world. Her silent sacrifice had saved the empire years ago when Richard's hubris nearly destroyed it. She could dismantle him with a word, but patience was her weapon. The gala in the city showcased Richard and Vanessa's audacious public betrayal, while Emma's silence became her armor. Every insult, every display of arrogance only sharpened her resolve. The turning point came without fanfare. A drawer left slightly ajar, papers half hidden, Claire's curiosity drew her in. She bent to peek, scanning the contracts, the certificates, the proof of Emma's silent power. She froze, heart hammering. But instead of feeling awe, a flicker of jealousy and fear sparked. Emma had been stronger than Claire ever imagined, and here in her hands were the tools that could shift the balance. Claire closed the drawer quietly, leaving Emma's greatest weapon in place, but carrying the knowledge of it like a dangerous secret. From that moment, her loyalty faltered. Every word she whispered in Richard's ear, every piece of gossip she fed him, became a blade against the woman who had trusted her most. And yet, it wasn't outright malice. It was survival, ambition, and the intoxicating pull of power that led her to betray the only person who had ever truly cared for her. The boardroom gleamed under the morning sun. Richard boasted, expanding Lawson Enterprises into Europe and Asia. Executives murmured doubts, but he ignored them. Emma, seated quietly, observed every misstep, every arrogance-fueled decision. Claire lingered nearby, her loyalty faltering in secret admiration for Richard. Richard mocked Emma, daring her to speak. She rose slowly, deliberately, and placed a folder at the table. "I own Lawson Enterprises, 90% of it." Gasps erupted. Murmurs trembled like a storm. The company he thought he commanded was hers by law, by inheritance, by unseen years of sacrifice. Richard froze, laughter dying in his throat. Claire's shock was palpable, her betrayal rendered meaningless. Emma's calm defiance silenced the room. "Richard Lawson, you no longer have authority here," Emma declared. Her voice, soft yet unwavering, dismantled every ounce of his arrogance. Daniel, Margaret, Vanessa, all powerless against the truth. Claire, broken boardroom gleamed under the morning sun. Richard boasted, expanding Lawson Enterprises into Europe and Asia. Executives murmured doubts, but he ignored them. Emma, seated quietly, observed every misstep, every arrogance-fueled decision. Claire lingered nearby, her loyalty faltering in secret admiration for Richard. Richard mocked Emma, daring her to speak. She rose slowly, deliberately, and placed a folder at the table. "I own Lawson Enterprises, 90% of it." Gasps erupted. Murmurs trembled like a storm. The company he thought he commanded was hers by law, by inheritance, by unseen years of sacrifice. Richard froze, laughter dying in his throat. Claire's shock was palpable, her betrayal rendered meaningless. Emma's calm defiance silenced the room. "Richard Lawson, you no longer have authority here," Emma declared. Her voice, soft yet unwavering, dismantled every ounce of his arrogance. Daniel, Margaret, Vanessa, all powerless against the truth. Claire, broken by the realization of her misplaced loyalty, could only watch. Claire's smirk vanished. Shock replaced calculation. The betrayal she had committed in silence returned to haunt her, leaving her powerless, exposed, and irrelevant, a victim of her own choices. Emma gathered her documents, calm and composed. Lawson Enterprises would now be led with integrity, guided by wisdom and patience, not arrogance. She walked out, dignity intact, her back straight, her presence unshakable. The betrayer humbled, the corrupt humbled, the loyal reborn. Emma's power had always been quiet, but it endured. And in that endurance, justice was absolute. Have you ever held your power quietly before revealing it to the world? From the other side of silence, Toss Stories. Drop a comment and share where you're watching from. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this story because sometimes the quietest voice carries the loudest impact.